Good afternoon. How you doing, Georgina?
I'm fine, although my back's still jiggered. I tried to do the exercises this morning and I'm so stiff and slow.
Oh no.
Yeah. You know, bending over to cut a bramble. Who knew?
Yeah, my sciatica kicked in this weekend though, so I've had a very similar thing. Like just generally moving has been painful. So
Yeah.
I put a post up about it earlier actually on my Instagram, but I tried to train yesterday. I was like, oh, it's feeling better. And literally I've never thrown such a big temper tantrum in my life. I was like, I'm not doing anything. So I ended up stretching for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm modifying everything, but I had got 2 sets of exercises down for today and I've cancelled the second one.
Yeah.
I don't need to be daft.
No, definitely not. I mean, there's no thing. I always try and remind myself there's no rush, right? It's just about moving.
Yeah, but I'm not getting anywhere and I'm putting the weight back on.
Well, there is that. Hey, Fran, you all right?
I'm good. What have you done?
I suffer from scoliosis. I've got a mild form of scoliosis in my spine, and when I used to work in offices, I suffered really badly with sciatica. And obviously with the change in what's happened and the less I'm moving, and I obviously don't have a set kind of office chair or anything like that. I work from the dining room table, and I've probably watched a little bit too much Netflix. My sciatica's kind of kicked in a little bit. So yesterday kind of was a crunch day for it and a bit of a temper tantrum.
Oh, I can understand that. Well, poor you, because it's quite pain, isn't it?
It is just one of those things I've got to change a little bit how I handle it. So how are we doing, B?
Good. How are you?
Good. Sandra. There's Sandra. How are we doing? Oh, I think she's on mute. You're on mute, Sandra.
She's chatting away.
Hey,
good morning.
Yeah, so I just had a shower and I'm a bit cold.
Bless you. It has turned really cold actually today, I think.
I was working out outside, it's cold.
Oh, how are we doing, Joe? You all right?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Cool. Jamie, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
On it today.
Nice. And there's Karen hiding, sharing the screen.
Yeah.
She's like that. Who are all these crazy people, Mum?
Yeah. Who are these people? That's not Joe Wicks.
Definitely not Joe Wicks here.
Yeah, she's better.
Frogs and Supermen, are they?
Yeah. Oh, bless her.
Not quite sure. Yeah.
That there's too many people, I'm out of here.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Bless her. We'll give it a minute or two and then we will look to get started. Did everyone enjoy their bank holiday weekend?
Yeah. And nice weather makes a change, doesn't it? It makes a difference having the sunshine.
Oh, definitely.
I had a power cut on Saturday evening. That was a lot of fun.
Oh,
That's not fun.
Yeah, for 5 hours.
no.
Especially, like in the middle of a Zoom chat with my friends, and we were going to, for my friend's birthday, we were going to do bongos bingos online, and I was like, well, guess that's not happening.
Oh no.
What's bongo bingos?
Sorry?
What is bongo bingo?
It's like a bingo. It's like usually in London, it's like an event thing. I don't know, happens every weekend or every day or something. But they're doing it online now for free, and you just literally put in, like, you just use your mobile number as your bingo numbers, and you can, like, one I did it on Tuesday as well with my friend, and someone won like 6 packs of Cocoa Pops.
My
It's
kids
like
would
really
be so
stupid, and it's like it's hilarious. But I missed it because I didn't have any power.
Oh man.
So disappointed.
Oh, look at PT chilling out in a hammock.
Oh, she looks nice and warm.
Oh, nice.
Isn't she? It's on PT. We all right, PT?
Yeah.
Looks like you've had a hard morning, mate.
You did ring me at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, sorry.
doesn't matter anyway, because I've got the week off. I forgot.
What?
I don't need to get up at 8.
That's amazing, PT. So next week, the 8 o'clock call, yeah?
Did you call her, Jen?
No, I didn't.
I bet you she forgot.
I am actually going to set a calendar reminder for next week, though. All right, guys, we'll get started. Really, I just kind of wanted to see how everyone's weekend went. Did we all fall off the rails a little bit, or did we fall off, get back on? Did we do all right?
Back on today.
All right, really.
So did anyone spectacularly fall off the rails nutrition-wise?
Not spectacularly.
That's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
I did, but I was recovering from tonsillitis. I spent the whole of last week, most of it in bed, being really, really poorly. I got better just in time for work, which is why this weekend I just thought, meh, yeah.
It's a fair one. I mean, I think the main thing is really just seeing how everyone got on the weekend and whether or not they feel like they had, like, if you guys felt like you had a little bit more control knowing what you were doing, right? So not necessarily about saying, do you know what, I was 100% the whole time. It was more, I had a treat. I enjoyed myself. It's Easter eggs, everything like that. Obviously a nice Sunday roast as well. But if for the rest of the time you manage to kind of like stick with it and not go crazy, I think that's kind of a bigger achievement than saying you 100% religiously stuck to it over an Easter weekend. And I think that's kind of where we want to start moving to. So I know, PT, I saw your little post of reading a book while having your breakfast.
Yeah, it took me forever to eat that little pot of porridge.
How did you feel after it?
All right. I didn't have anything else, even though that's smaller than what I probably should have had, that pot size. Yeah. But yeah, I felt all right, to be honest. And still not into that book. Supposed to be an amazing book. I'm not quite into it yet. But yeah, I think it did help. I wasn't in a rush to eat anything else. I don't think I had anything after that until my lunch.
Okay.
Remember?
So just being able to take a little bit more time kind of makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Has anyone else found that with eating? Like if you take your time a little bit more, you don't tend to eat as much, or you're not filling up as quickly?
I've not eaten everything that's been put on my plate recently. I've sort of turfed it to my son or something. I don't need it all. Here, have this.
That's amazing. At least you've got someone to turf it to.
Garbage disposal. Yeah.
Yeah, there's mine. So
I do actually. Yours.
Go on, PT.
Yeah, I do actually think that the portion size is quite small. I mean, I feel like I'm more active now than I was when we didn't have the lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing more fizz than ever. I mean, more casual than ever.
I think some people it'll be one or the other way, right? So for you, you're doing more because you've got not necessarily more time, but because it's easier when you're in one place, right? And you've got quite a busy social schedule anyway. So for you probably may be doing more. So we may need to look at it. We'll kind of track your weight a little bit as well and how you're feeling if you're tired and that kind of stuff. We may increase your calories slightly. But for quite a lot of us, I would say probably at least 80% of us, we are all moving a lot less. Like 100%, my movement is at least 50% of what it used to be. If you think about it, I'm normally standing around for at least 4 hours, coaching a day. On top of that, driving to and from the gym, walking around the gym, cleaning, doing all my admin and stuff like that. So you can take out a good 6 hours of me being on my feet in the day now, because I'm not, right? Even though I'm training that little bit more, I'm not up and about. So my general burn is not the same. So some people are going to have the opposites. Other people may be more fortunate. Like now you can get double sessions in. That's cool. If you weren't doing it before and nothing else has really changed. Like for you, Sandra, I can imagine if you've been working from home most of the time, your daily routine's probably not massively changed apart from obviously now, but you've probably got time now to hit 2 sessions if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, I do the one session because I can't get up early and I'm really rubbish in the evening. So I do the 9 o'clock. But what I am doing is I'm a gardener, so I'm able to get out and dig a lot. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing more probably than I would obviously when I'm working from home. I'm just sat. So now I'm up and doing.
So for that kind of scenario, we'll probably look to kind of reevaluate calories by the end of this week. So PT, see how you get on for this week. Because there is adjustment period as well, right? So the portion size and it takes a little while to adjust to what a proper portion size should be versus what you're used to eating. And that's perception and habit more than anything else. And that does take a little bit of getting used to, but we'll review everyone's calories, how they're feeling. Are they tired? Do they feel lethargic throughout the day? All that kind of stuff. We'll review that towards the end of this week anyway. Cool. Yes, Nina.
Yeah, I've just had 2 days of food poisoning, so everything's gone to pot, and I'm just sort of like eating anything I can find at the moment because I'm just over it. So
yeah, that's to be expected. Like when you're ill or your body naturally goes into kind of firefighting mode, so it will naturally burn more calories. That's why people tend to lose quite a lot of weight, not just through lack of eating. It's like the body is proactively fighting absolutely everything. It's throwing everything it's got at whatever illness you've got at that point. So the most important thing for you is to get your fluids on board, get whatever food down that you can so that the body's actually got energy to do something. I mean, obviously the healthier you can make it, the better, but right now the main focus is for the body to recover, right? And that's really important to think about, is like, if you are feeling ill for any reason, you've got to focus on your recovery, and that's staying nice and hydrated, getting all those fluids on board, and making sure you're eating. As hard as that bit is, the eating is actually really important. You feeling better though, Nina?
Yeah, it was literally sort of like 2 days where I was just really rough, and I think I cancelled Sunday's class. I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do
Friday night quiz,
but I probably won't put in 100%. I'm just going to do it, so I'm just sort of feeling a bit more normal.
No, it's like, just move as well, right? Just move, whether it's slowly or not. Just keep moving.
But I'm painting today. So.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
You've got a big project there, haven't you?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we were going to start looking at this week, obviously we've kind of got down what our routine looks like a little bit better. We've found dead time. We've looked a little bit at meal prep. We've looked at ways to kind of combat snacking. We've looked at portion sizing to a degree. We're going to revisit portion sizing again this week, just for a little bit of a reality check and see how we're doing. The main thing that we're going to focus on this week is our recovery. So obviously quite a few people are doing more sessions than they normally would. One of the big things that actually impacts any type of nutrition, weight loss, weight gain is if your recovery is off whack. By recovery, I don't just mean your sleep. I mean your downtime, your stretching, your mobility, all of that kind of stuff where you have kind of time for yourself. So recovery becomes even more important, especially if your sleep is out of whack. Has anyone been struggling with their sleep recently? Or is everyone, Georgina, PT? I don't even know where to start with your sleep routine, PT.
I was wide awake at 2 a.m. That's because I watched a bloody sad film again, didn't I?
Yeah.
I never learn.
No. You'll get there. You'll get there. So one of the things to think about is, and all I want you to think about before you go to bed every night, as it stands now, is to write down exactly what you do. Not what you want to do, but what you do. So whatever your bedtime routine is, whether it's PT, at 1:30 you go, oh my God, I'm actually quite tired. I should probably get to sleep, switch the telly off and try and go to sleep. Where you are when that happens, all that kind of stuff. I just want you to take a little bit of time and think about exactly what you do before you go to bed. A lot of people will spend, sorry, give me 1 minute. Dooney, bed. Now.
Your boyfriend.
No, God.
That's what I was thinking. So.
He's on his bloody Xbox games. Don't be daft, Jamie. The dog stays with me all day anyway. So having a little think about exactly what you do before bed. So to give you an idea, my routine changed dramatically. I literally, at about 8 o'clock, I will watch telly. At 9 o'clock, I take my squash upstairs. I do a 25-minute stretch, because otherwise I feel like crap and I don't know how to wind down. And then by 9:30, I'm in bed. I may read a couple of pages of a book, by which point I'm out for the count. That's pretty much my routine. That's taken me a while to get to that, whereas before it would be, oh, it's 10 o'clock, I best switch telly off. Oh, there's another Criminal Minds, I'll just watch that, and then I'll switch the telly off, and then I'll go upstairs. And it's just really writing down exactly what you do the half hour, 45 minutes before you go to bed. The brain takes a little bit of time to shut down, so take that into account. So I would look at kind of 45 minutes before you go to sleep, exactly what you do. I did miss off brushing my teeth. I do that before I go to bed as well, guys, just so that you don't think I don't. But just take a little note of that and see what it looks like. I'm not saying write down what the perfect one would be, but I just kind of want to get an idea of where everyone's mentally at before they go to bed. Does anyone find like certain days are more stressful? Jamie, you might have it with shift work where you have certain days where you're just not going to get to sleep.
I'm a massive geek with my bedtime, so I could go to bed at 8:30 if they told me, but I go to bed with the girls, they're laughing, early, so about 9, 9:30, and I get up super early, so that's just who I am and the way I'm made. With shifts, I have to read until I go to sleep. Something really intense, like I'm reading Surviving Hell at the moment. Something that actually switches my brain, that is enough to switch my brain off from work and take it to a different world, but it still has to be quite intense. But as soon as I open the book, then I fall asleep, so it works.
So I just want you all to have a little think about that. Some of the things, like the body works, I mentioned this last week, the body works on the natural light cycle, right? So your body should naturally wake up when it's daylight. It should naturally want to shut down when it's dark. That's why shift workers really struggle with weight loss as well, with nutrition, because most shift workers will work through a night shift. It completely puts your body clock out of whack, right? Your body and your brain naturally want to function during daylight. I don't know if you guys find yourselves more productive in the summer. You're a little bit happier, you've got a little bit more get up and go, because there's more daylight, right? You get more done. You wake up earlier naturally. Like, you don't wake up at 6, 7 in the morning feeling groggy because it's still dark outside. You wake up because the sun's rising. It's a really important part of the body clock, and it's a really important part for how the body repairs itself. So as I mentioned, the brain shuts down, and then the body gets to work of kind of fixing itself of all the damage that's happened for the day. Whether that's your exercise, your muscles have torn, all that kind of thing. It just goes to work. Like, the recovery part of your day is probably more important sometimes than the actual exercise that you do in the day. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're going to focus on this week, we're going to try and help PT with this one as well, is getting into that good routine where you can really get a good structure in place where you're getting the right amount of sleep. Sleep is very personal as well. So some people function really well on 5 hours sleep. They tend to be youngsters. They tend to work really well on less sleep and get through the night quite well and carry on fighting through the day. Your average person needs at least 7 hours sleep, if not 7 to 10. Again, that changes based on age, whether you're female, you're male, all that kind of stuff has a massive impact in it. As I've got older, I definitely need more sleep. I know that much. I used to function on 5 hours quite happily. If I haven't got 7, that's game over for me.
How old are you, Jenny? Just being nosy.
37 now. But when I used to work in pubs, like I used to have like 2-3 jobs, and I literally would work probably from 6 in the morning right through till 12, 1 o'clock when I was in pubs, and I would get back up again. So I would get like 5 hours sleep, and I could function on that for 6-7 days, and then I'd have a whole day where I did nothing and I slept. I was like that teenager that just slept all the time on the weekend. But again, it's the body needs that recovery time, and the younger you are, the quicker you recover. A great example is the younger you are, when you get a hangover, they tend not to last as long. You'd probably be able to relate to this one as well. So when you get a hangover in your 20s or your teens, pretty much up and around the next morning without any major issues. As you get older, that hangover tends to drag out longer and longer and longer. You tend to be more tired as well, right? Because the body can't recover as quickly and process everything as quickly, which is why recovery plays such an important part in what we do day in, day out with our nutrition, with our exercise, and just our daily routines. Does that make sense to everyone?
So
I've got an
Jenny,
idea for PT. So
Yeah.
what I sometimes, well, what I do every evening, it might be the odd evening I miss it out, but usually between 9:30 and 10 I run a hot bath, and that is when I start to switch off, and I spend about a good half an hour in the bath, and I sometimes, I know it sounds weird, but I don't actually sometimes even wash. I just soak in the bath and just sit myself
A load of salts in it. It's lovely.
Wow. And then my whole body's relaxed and I can go to bed, and it just makes life a lot easier to actually unwind. You don't have to do it at 9:30 though, PT.
I have tried it actually. Well, I feel that when I feel tired, I do tend to think, oh, I'm going to run a bath because I feel so tired. But
Yeah.
I probably make myself more conscious of it now to see if it actually helps.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we just need to focus on, PT, is to find something that helps you wind down. Because I think part of the reason that you're up till 2 in the morning is that your brain's wired. Like you've not switched off, you've not learned to wind down yet and kind of shut down a little bit. It's like I said, the brain takes a little bit of time to shut down. Things like switching the phone off at 9 o'clock is a great example of that white light. I went to see a movement specialist for quite a while, and he even took it to the extreme of you should switch your Wi-Fi off, because the
Background.
it has a distortion to it, and the brain can still sense it and is still wired from it. We didn't go that far. We didn't switch the Wi-Fi off, but definitely learning to not use my phone after a certain time made a massive difference. Not reading off my iPad, that was another thing. So Darren's got a million books that I read. So I'll read off a physical book. I'm a bit old school like that. Just those kind of things help me wind down. And we just need to work out what works for you, PT. Like, is it going to be that you need to do half hour of yoga flows before you go to bed? That kind of thing. Different people are going to have different things, right? So we just need to work out what you do before you go to bed, and then we can work out what things help you chill out and make you feel relaxed, if that makes sense.
You sleep
Yeah.
when you go to bed. Do you sleep, PT?
No.
You got a TV in the bedroom?
It was my phone. Netflix on my phone.
Yeah, you definitely need to leave the phone outside.
Yeah, there's a couple of things they say about like your bed space is literally the sole purpose of it is to go to sleep. It's things like you should never fall asleep in your clothes on your bed. You should have set bedtime wear, whatever that may be.
Nothing.
There you go. So, but that's exactly it, right? You have set things that you wear when you go to bed or you don't wear. And that's very different to what you do in the day. So your body's already prepared to a degree. Your brain knows mentally that you're in your bedtime clothes. Like if you sleep in pajamas and then spend all day in pajamas, you normally feel pretty horrific for it because that's what your brain associates with bedtime, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and also if I'm in bed for too long and I'm awake for too long, my brain says you're not going to sleep, and then I can't go to sleep, so I have to just stay and go to bed and make sure that I'm asleep within that half an hour, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as not staying in bed too early, like when you wake up in the morning, right? Trying not to stay in bed for like 45 minutes, an hour, or eating breakfast in bed as well. Like while it's cool once in a while, but not to do it on a regular basis. That space should be associated with sleeping, and the quicker you can get your brain to connect to that, the quicker you fall asleep. So we're going to focus a little bit on that this week, I think. Just think about what your routine is, as I said now. Jot it down, send it over to me. But we'll have a little chat about different routines tomorrow and see what everyone's got for their routines, because a lot of people have very similar routines. I can give you a great example. Like my routine literally on the weekend, don't do my stretching before I go to bed. I literally just watch telly. Then I go upstairs, I read 2 pages of a book, and then I'm out. But the weekend's a very different beast for me compared to working in the week. But again, I probably I've got a sleep tracker, and my sleep is not as good a quality on the weekend as it is Monday to Friday.
I think we always think at weekends it's like when you're a child, isn't it? Because it's your time off, so you feel you can stay up that bit later, you can lie in the next day, but your body doesn't really like that.
No, exactly. And you know, it shows through the stats that I can see in my sleep data. Monday to Friday though, I religiously am, here's my stretching, I'm off to bed at this time, my alarm is set for the morning. And you can guarantee my sleep looks pretty much the same all the way through, unless there's something that's not quite right. So my sciatica has played a massive part in it this time because I keep waking up throughout the night. But as a whole, my sleep quality is still better than what it is on the weekend.
So and I go to bed.
Sorry. Go on, JB.
So my routine is to go to bed early, and I can sleep unless I'm having a random bad night, but I can. But I wake up what people would class as stupidly early, and I have no problem getting out of bed. Like, I'm excited to go and get my coffee.
Yep.
Whereas other people would say that's actually waking up in the middle of the night, and then they think they should have to go back to sleep. But surely,
what time are you getting up?
Yeah.
I wake up naturally about 4:45, 4:30, 4:45.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine, Jamie.
Like, my husband's the same, Jamie. My husband's like an early bird. He gets up really early, like you, and he's out like he comes in at 10, and that's like his lunch hour now.
and it's my peace time. Like, I suppose the same as. So I've got a son who's like nocturnal, so he will go to bed late and then get up late, and I'm like, he was born that way. It's just the way he is, and I was born waking up early.
It is very much so. Like, I've not always been an early bird, but definitely I would say the last 10-15 years have been a case of 5 a.m. is a little bit late for me during the week, but you know, when we're bordering into the 6-7 o'clock, that's a lay-in for me, which it probably is for you as well, right?
I wake up in a panic. I'm like, 7 a.m.
Like,
no, totally.
Like that. That's lovely.
but that's just because you've got a set routine and you go to bed a lot earlier, right? Same as me. Whereas someone like PT, 5 a.m. is probably when PT sat there going, I only get up because I'm going to the airport at that time, right?
Yeah.
Right. So.
And I get up quite easy then.
Yeah.
If I was up at 2 a.m, I'd have a panic. I'd be like, oh my God, it's 2 a.m. I would be worried.
Yeah. But again, it's making sure that the routines work for everybody, right? So we know yours is going to look very different to PT's. And obviously work schedule for you as well is very different. So it's quite good that you've got that good structure in place. We just need to make sure that when we're thinking about our routines, guys, it's about what works for you, right? There's no point saying I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. every day if it's just not realistic, right? And you don't need to. You can be realistic about what your go to bed, get up time is. If you say I'm going to go to bed at 9 o'clock every night, but for the last 6 months to a year you've gone to bed at 11, 12 o'clock, you're not going to be going to bed at 9 o'clock straight away, right? The body's going to take a little bit of time to adapt to that. But yeah, just have a little think about what your routine looks like now, and then we'll start looking at how we can implement some.
What about naps? Because I will nap sometimes in the afternoon.
So there's different opinions on naps. Some people say that you shouldn't, because it throws the body clock off. I'm a firm believer that so long as you're not napping for like 2 hours at a time. And
it's sort of almost meditation. So you go into, because I can do it at work at lunch, I can go into meditation and then into sleep. So I'll go to meditation, then I'll pretend I'm asleep so no one talks to me, and then I go to sleep.
But like the 20-minute, 30-minute power nap, like so long as you wake up feeling refreshed, then there's no reason. If you wake up though and you feel groggy and tired, that's a sign that you shouldn't have had that nap, and that you should probably go to bed a little bit earlier. But if you wake up from a nap feeling quite refreshed, that's a good sign. That means that your body needed just that little bit of downtime. But yeah, if you start to nap and you really feel when you wake up you're just like doom and gloom, the world's going to end, don't talk to me, that's a sign that you definitely shouldn't have had that nap. Does that make sense?
I tell myself, I'm just gonna have a little sleep. I end up sleeping hour 2, and I do feel like
that's probably another reason. Yeah, that'll be another reason as well why you go to bed so late. if you
Oh, I haven't done that for a long time, but
okay.
when I did try it, when I have done it in the past, then I have felt worse and it's harder to get up.
Yeah.
But I found if I go to bed later, say for example, like this morning, I was really late because I was wide awake. I found it so much easier to get up this morning before my alarm.
Yeah.
And then
That's
the other
kind
day,
of
when I go to bed at midnight, I'm like struggling like hell to get up.
It'd be interesting to kind of get a gauge for the quality of your sleep though, PT, because I don't know if you've got any kind of fitness tracker or anything that you wear that tracks your sleep. Because it may be that when you're going to bed earlier, you're just not winding down. Like you're literally just not winding down. Your brain's not winding down. Whereas when you go to sleep later, it's like, right, I've got to go to sleep. I've only got a set amount of time. And then you kind of get into that deep sleep much quicker. So it'd be interesting to kind of get a little feel for what your sleep pattern looks like.
Are you worried about anything, PT, when you can't go to sleep, or you literally just enjoying your TV or whatever you're doing?
Sometimes things are on my mind that I can't do anything about, and it's on my mind.
That's what keeps me up at night.
Yeah, but mainly the main reason I watch Netflix in bed is because I'm not tired.
Yeah, I think it's getting that and it's that association, right? We need to make sure that the association with going to bed is going to bed because you're tired, not just because you're bored, if that makes sense.
So I did wear my watch in the week, on the weekend, and it did say 3 hours deep sleep and about 4 or 5 hours light sleep.
Okay.
That's loads of hours, isn't it? That's 8. What's that? Oh my God, 8 hours, 9 hours. I've had 10 hours sleep, and I'm like, why can't I get up? It's just I'm just terrible routine, aren't I?
Yeah, I think we just need to work out what your go to bed routine is so that you can start sinking into that and getting to sleep at the time that you need to rather than kind of being wide awake. So I'm going to need to wrap up, guys, because we seem to
I just have a chat with PT
getting longer and longer.
PT, stick around. I want to have a quick word with you.
I know I've got to jump off of the whole Zoom thing because it's going to be used again.
Oh, okay.
That's all right.
Okay. I'll message you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye,
Guys,
everyone.
just to finish up
Thanks,
though, just write down your routine as it is now for me, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Bye. Good to see you guys. See you tomorrow.
PT, I'll message you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you later.